Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and I'm your host of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and today I'm here with Genevieve Skory. And have you felt like you're not quite sure what's holding you back? You just can't get going, or you're not quite sure why you can't get some sales going? Well, today we are going to talk about that. So Genevieve, without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yes. Good morning, Charisse. I am a passionate, so you'll have to excuse me. I come with a lot of energy, even though I have a little bit of a head cold. I'm very passionate about women and moms in particular being able to start something that leverages their energy, their excitement, and monetize it in a way that aligns with their life. So I have walked the entrepreneur life, and I have walked the corporate life. I've climbed the corporate ladder, made it all the way up to the highest level C-suite sales job possible for a $500 million brand. I've had successful 6-figure income businesses. And so I've walked them all, and I'm a mom. My first love is my family. My first love is connecting people to their families and their goals. And I think there's just a strategy that women can be employing to have more success in the ways they're looking for. But we if you don't know, you don't know. And you might quit too early, which would be a shame. So I've been in it for a couple decades, and now I'm a coach that helps women in business figure out how to get to their next level without burning themselves out, losing their family in the process, or their sanity.
This is a good week to talk about that because it has been a tough week for me. Actually, yesterday I sat down and I wrote because in my industry, like it ebbs and flows, right?
Yes.
And so sometimes it goes really, really well. Last week was one of those weeks. This week it doesn't. And
Yeah.
so I added up all of the lost sales that I've had because of various different things this week. And it's like 6 figures, right? So it's like, it's easy to get depressed. It's easy to get down, that negative self-talk. The positive's like, okay, this happens every spring.
Yes.
Super excited. And then they like, oh, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know if I'm ready. Right. And so it ends up tripling later and things work out. But this is something where people do. It's easy to get burned out. It's easy to get down. It's easy to feel, okay, I'm stuck. I don't know how to get past this. So what is your recommendation for people who are feeling like that?
Yeah. Well, the first thing, and you said it, is to understand that there are seasons in your business. There just are. There are seasons every year. There are seasons every decade. And even within like a month, sometimes, like some people have months that close. And there are time periods within that month that different things happen. So I always tell people it's a lot like gardening or farming,
Yeah, it's true.
The farmer has to consistently be planting seeds and then weeding the garden and then feeding that garden. And then after a lot of work and absolutely no evidence that anything is happening underneath that soil, something starts to sprout. But you got to hope the bunnies don't come and eat it. You got to hope that bird doesn't come down or that there's enough rain or water. And then some of those plants die. And you've got to still be working the farm because there is a harvesting season. And there are just, I think for most women, it's a matter of understanding the challenges and setting up systems around them. So if you trust your system instead of what you're seeing, sometimes that helps a little bit more with the day-to-day or the week-to-week, like, this sucks. It sucks this week. It's like, that happens. That absolutely happens.
That is so true. I love that analogy of the farmer because I had a mentor once that he met this guy. I don't even know. They went to some convention. They ended up partnering up. And so they would motivate each other back and forth.
Yes.
And so one of his friends is like, oh yeah, I spent like 12 hours going, I was meeting with all these people and it was just great. I was following up on all these appointments. And his friend's like, great. What did you do for prospecting today? And he
Yeah.
goes, well, I didn't have any time for that. He goes, no, no, no. You have to prospect every
Every
single
day.
day.
Yeah.
And I don't think as entrepreneurs, we realize that.
No.
Because it's so easy, especially me, like the paperwork, the client issues, which are so many right now, and the prospecting.
Yeah.
It's something you have to do.
Yeah. And if you're not prospecting now,
Mhm.
you won't have sales in 30, 60, or 90 days.
Yeah.
So it's this understanding, and you're right, it is hard, but I feel like moms are uniquely qualified to run businesses because we are already juggling
Yeah.
a million unrelated tasks. The beauty of business is they're all kind of related.
Right.
So one of the things that I found that women don't understand is, what should I do with my day?
Mhm.
So I'm super excited. I'm passionate. I've hung my shingle. I'm ready to go. And it's like, well, what are you doing today to promote your business? And it's got to be more than, I'm asking my friends to continually buy from me. I'm asking my same customers continually buy from me. It's like, nope, you got to set your day up
Yeah.
so that there's a part of it that you're reaching out to form new relationships. You're reaching out to create interest about your products or service. And I would change that a little bit. It's not so much that you're creating interest, it's you're
Mhm.
looking for people that are looking for you, which means, right? They've already taken themselves through a certain amount of self-discovery and realization and problem identification. And they're at a point where they're like, I have a problem and I need help.
Mhm.
That's the sweet spot. If you can get into the head of your customer who's already saying they have a problem you solve, it
Mhm.
lessens the time it takes to get the client, right? So you've got to always be reaching out. My question is always, how many new relationships did you start today? And then on top of that time frame, and maybe that's social media, maybe that's advertising, maybe that's going to networking groups, but you're actually out there looking for people who are looking for you. Then the second thing people have to spend their day doing is nurturing those relationships that you already started. So, what's the next little micro commitment that that person can make in the journey of discovering how you can help them? And then there's more nurturing, and there's asking people then to actually commit to having a journey with you. So there's kind of three basic buckets of things that women have to do. Men have to do them too, but I always tell people this is how this works. And then you have to deliver. And a lot of times what happens is you get a customer, you're like, yay, so excited. And then you focus just there. I've got a customer. I'm
Mhm.
going to dig into them. I'm going to invest into them. And then you're like, that's great for now, but people get kidnapped by aliens all the time. All the time. What are you doing to backfill when the aliens come?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, that is a very, very good point. And I think it is so easy because it's like, oh, you get to latch onto this. But it is, it's
Yes.
true. When they do get kidnapped by the alien, which I
Yes.
do believe that's going to be my new phrase, the alien. There's no one left, right? You have to continue to fill that pipeline. That's
Yeah. Yeah. And most people don't know that. Like if you
Mhm.
start, what I found, Charisse, is that people start businesses in so many well-meaning ways,
Mhm.
but it's not like anybody says, by the way, this is how you sell without being slimy. By
Yeah.
the way, this is how you market. It's all you know is that, like, I'm really good at this one thing. I have a huge passion for helping people with it. Now, how do I find some people?
Mhm.
That's the learning part that isn't as difficult as you think, but it does take a minute for people to systematize.
Yeah, that's so true. Are those your three fatal mistakes that you talk about, or are there other three fatal mistakes?
Oh, there are several. Those
Okay.
are key. The first one is, yes, that people don't have a system for finding new customers. That's vital. The second one is when you talk to those folks, don't try to convince them. So a lot of times I know what I do. I'm excited about what I do. I may want to help you with what I do, but that's about me, right? I want to help you. I'd love to help you. I cringe when I see women on Threads or Instagram or Messenger, and they're like, I'd love to help you with that. I'm like, I'm sure you would, because you'll make money doing that. The question is, will I love you helping me with what you're doing? And when I coach women, the first thing people tell me, especially inexperienced entrepreneurs, is, yeah, but they have to do it. It would be so good for them. And I'm like, but do they know that? Because otherwise, you're not selling, you're convincing. And that is a harder game, actually, than selling.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to convince people to buy from me, because then you got to convince them to show up. Then you got to convince them to pay. Then you got to convince them to do the work. And that's just a lot harder than, hey, let's create a journey for you, and I'll be your advocate, and I'll show you the ropes, and you do the work.
Yeah. No, that's so true.
Yeah. And if they have, and if you do look at, like, I challenge everyone listening to this, like, look at some of the things that you see out there especially on social, where people are trying to quote unquote sell their product or service, and ask yourself, what don't you like about that? What I find is that people try to enter the psychological conversation, and sales is psychological, and I believe a spiritual conversation, but they try to enter the conversation way too late in the process. So it's kind of like, I'm out, I'm trying to date, and I'm like, you want to marry me? I'm like, I just met you. I do not want to marry you. Slow down. First of all, are you looking to get married? No? Well, then I'm not going to sit and try to convince you of all the benefits of getting married.
Yeah.
Just find the people that are at that stage and want to do that. So there's just understanding the conversation. One of my favorite definitions of sales is it's the transference of inspiration. I got inspired about something. I had an experience. That experience inspired me. I want you to feel that same experience. It's not a checkbox. It's not a transaction. It's not an order even. It's an experience.
I love that. And it's true. I was thinking about that the other day, because I've never lost. Like, when I go to an appointment and I do my listing appointment stuff, I've never lost a client. And this week I've lost 3. But I realized, I'm like, okay, what am I doing wrong? And then I sat down and I realized, okay, wait a second. Because it's easy to start the negative talk.
Yes.
I never went through the actual presentation. I just talked with them because they had questions and they wanted me to come. So I answered the questions, and so you never, and I showed a little bit of my value, but I never did an actual, like, this is what I can do for you. This is why I want to do it. This is how I can help you. And let's go on this journey together. Well, there's other reasons when you have this overbearing best friend that's telling you, you're going to do this. And she's
yes.
like, okay, right? So I'm like, I'm going to take some ownership because I need to. You can always do something better, but
yes,
this is something where it's important to make sure that they trust you. Know, like, and trust, right?
yes,
and that you start at first base, and then you go to second base, and you go to third. And when she's like, Charisse, I'm just not ready. I'm not even ready to move. Great, because this is going to give me a year to create the relationship with her that I wanted to.
right.
So
Yeah. And you're so right. It's about trusting your processes, because if your process is designed in the right way, which it sounds like it is, you are creating important emotional markers in the relationship. So the brain doesn't actually say yes. The heart says yes first. And then the brain justifies what the heart has decided.
So true.
Right?
That's what I talk about in this book right there.
Yeah.
It's so true, because
right.
It's like, trust your gut, trust your heart.
Yep.
And then you trust your brain, right?
Yes.
Because You can't do it the other way around.
That's right. But I do believe this, and I really do. You needed to learn something super significant in those transactions, which it sounds like you did, in order to get to your next level.
Yeah.
So I really do believe, and I don't think that most people think about this. It's like the person you are today has the capacity to create the size of the business that you have today.
Yeah.
You've got to grow and increase your capacity in order to have bigger business, better business, a more refined business.
Yeah.
And the only way you learn is through feedback. We call it failure, right? But it's actually just feedback designed to be like, hey, a little more of this,
Yeah.
a little less of this, because something really great is coming. And if you weren't ready for it, it would pass you by.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of like, okay, challenge accepted. Come on. What do we got up next? I'm ready. I'm ready.
And I do believe that sometimes everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And there's some times where I'm like, I don't know if I really want you as a client because you're going to be difficult.
Girl.
And I'm not going to be able to win because, I mean, for me, it's like, you should list your house at 650. Nope, it needs to be listed or 725. That's a big difference. And you're going to be mad at me because we're going to sell it.
That's correct.
And not because we can't sell it at 725, because the market won't allow it. And I think, I mean, anyone can take it in any type of conversation, but it is true with their businesses that things happen for a reason. And sometimes you don't see it yet.
Yes. Right. And I will tell you one thing I wish I learned much, much sooner was how to trust my instincts more around those kinds of things. Like when you're having, like I tell sales people and entrepreneurs all the time, you are in every moment also interviewing and evaluating the alignment. Like don't chase the extra comma, the extra sale, the title, whatever it is, and forsake alignment, because at the end of the day, that's how you create burnout. That's how you create like a lack of confidence. Because in that case, if you had said, okay, let's list your house for something that I know you cannot sell it for, right?
And they're going to be mad.
It's going to get chalked up as a failure for you, right? I was out of integrity. I did something I didn't really feel was aligned. But then they're not going to have a great experience. And so you're not going to get future business and you're not going to get any referrals out of that. So there's no winning there.
Yeah. And I think that, and we can move on after this, but I think that it's sometimes, and again, I'm in a commission-based industry right now. And so when they're constantly, how much are you going to charge for a commission? How much are you going to charge? And that's their only importance. It's like, wow, okay, you know what? And I need to keep cutting my commission because you don't see value in what I bring.
Yeah.
They're going to be like a high special needs person, and they'll take all of your time.
That's correct.
But you don't have time for other stuff. And sometimes this could end up, your opportunity costs end up costing you way more than what you would have gotten here.
That's correct. That's correct. But I think it's a great discussion though, because a lot of people in businesses have to deal with people that want to negotiate. They want to, and I get that. I'm a negotiator. I get that. I remember this one story. It was my favorite story. I was purchasing a Lexus and I was in the car with the sales guy, and it's in his best interest to sell me the most car possible, right? So we're driving this really big car and I'm driving with him and I'm like, I just don't know if I need this much engine. And he looked at me and he goes, anyone that buys a Lexus doesn't buy a Lexus because they need anything about this car. They drive it because of how it feels. And I thought to myself, well, he's not wrong. Like, okay. Like the truth is, it's like buying a luxury bag. You're not buying a luxury bag because of the pockets, how many pockets you're buying it because of how you feel when you own that bag or you wear that bag. And in sales, it's interesting to talk to clients from the perspective of, hey, I understand your desire to get as much value as possible. Like, I love that as well. What I find is a lot of people don't really understand what I do for my commission, or a lot of people don't understand all of what's included in this program. If you have a minute, is it okay that I break down for you all the pieces that I bring to the table? And then I usually ask people, now, if that's the formula for my success, what part of that don't you want to pay for?
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, because when they say, well, let's like keep lowering your commission, I usually will say, well, if I can't negotiate my own salary, how am I going to negotiate for you?
Yeah.
Right? My own value. And so they're like, and I just pause, the pregnant pause. Oh, okay. Wait, but I love what you just said. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Because people don't know. They really don't know. It's not like in most businesses, people clearly identify what you're getting. So even in our coaching program, I really have to spend time breaking down for people. These are all the things that you get, all the things that are included. And that's the value of the program. What I found is a lot of times when people have difficulty communicating the value, then all the customer knows is to compete on price. Now I've made myself a commodity. So if I can get the same thing anywhere, then we're just competing on price now. And that's why I think messaging for entrepreneurs is so important. Like, I was just on, and I do spend a lot of time giving free advice on social media, because I'm like, you people need help. Let me help you. And there's this one woman talking about, I saw someone talk about how they have these big, fat $20,000 months, and I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I post twice a day, and I thought, oh, honey, Linda. Listen, Linda, that's not business, first of all. But I went to her profile, and I looked at her profile, and I thought, you look just like everybody else. Like, I don't even understand what you do or who you serve. Mm-hmm. You look like every other entrepreneur who sells what you sell. What's your point of differentiation? Because that's what will make somebody say, yeah, but they're specialists in this, and I'm paying extra for that, or I'm happy to pay for that.
You are a wealth of knowledge, and I love your energy, and I wish I had more time to talk with you. But I want to ask if our listeners wanted to find you, because you have a ton of experience, and I know that you could help a lot of people. So how would they find you?
Yeah, the best place to find me, honestly, is I'm pretty personable. Just go to Instagram. Look for Genevieve _Skory, just as it's written on the screen here, and I'm sure as you have in the notes. DM me that you saw me on the podcast. If you DM me the word confidence, I will send you a confidence assessment, a free confidence assessment, if that's what you're struggling with in particular. But I'm always excited to have conversations with people about what might be holding them back.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. I appreciate it.
It was my pleasure, Charisse. Thanks for having me.
Yes. And moms, get unstuck. You can do it. You deserve to be good, and actually you deserve to be successful. So go out and make it a great day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.